You haven't quite yet answered the question about all these Jews owning teams. It looks a little Wizard of Oz outside. Oh no, did we just lose the power?
We were talking about Jewish owners of sports teams, and another guy who's been in the news quite a bit lately is Mark Cuban, who's not Cuban, he's Jewish. And Heather, you know him? I
did once. He wouldn't remember me. His family's last name
Kablinsky or something. Kablinsky, they changed it at Ellis Island.
Shabenisky. We're both involved in the web very early. And one of my first conferences, I saw him giving a talk, and we talked later. You know who he reminded me of? He reminded me of the kind of energy of when you would watch QVC, guys imploring you to buy knives and Beanie Babies.
I mean, you could take these in the Chicago area right now and ask about anything you want. You can't find it.
The funny thing I think you'll find entertaining is an acquaintance I used to know. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, who was married to a guy who used to own Real Networks, another streaming webcast play. She was obsessed with yenting sperm to us to have a kid, and she was always trying to get me Mark Cuban's sperm. She wanted Mark to have Jewish kids. She always wanted Mark to have Jewish kids, and she thought I should have his kid. She thought that would be great.
So Mark Cuban, if you're out there, you can come on the show. You can come on the come on the show. Would I want to have Mark Cuban's sperm kids? You know, that's a question I'm not prepared to answer right now. I'm gonna have to give it some thought.
Why do we own so many sports? My cockamamie theory is, and it could be only as good as it's cockamamie, they would like to have played, they couldn't. This was their chance. I mean, if you were going to invest in something today, what would you invest in? Where would you put your money? Pretend fantasy-wise you have that kind of money.
Swimming with dolphins. That's where I would put it.
Big money in swimming with dolphins. I put it in tattoo removal. That's where I'm investing.
Bay Area, probably a big thing there.
Oh my God, it's going to be huge. It's going to be permanently huge. What's your theory?
What's interesting is that is it good for the Jews? Okay, it's bad for the Jews whenever they're famous for doing anything that involves money and power. The only good Jew is a powerless Jew.
We've been there. We've done that.
I know, been there, done
Didn't
that.
work out so well.
1939 to 45. I don't know. The truth is, yeah, you're right. It's true. I'm sorry, pogroms. I didn't mean to ignore you. I have a very science experiment looking iced coffee with almond milk. Something happens to almond milk that's really disgusting.
The idea that milk would be anywhere near almonds, they have nothing to do with one another. Why don't they just call it almond juice or almond
they should.
Extraction or it's milk?
Almond extraction would really catch on like wildfire.
Like it was a sheep or a goat or a cow.
Right.
Someone went into the udders of the almond. And pulled
that's kind of cute, imagining an almond with little udders.
It's such a maternal, nourishing, feminine idea of milk, and then it comes out of a fucking nut? Like, I don't think so.
Ugh, Heather, you went there.
I'm not a drinker of the almond milk, not surprisingly.
Or the nut.
I'll leave that to the nuts. Good luck with your almond milk.
Thank you. Good luck with your regular milk, whole milk, skim milk. What's your
delicious
pleasure?
Whole?
It's disgusting.
The main thing is to get it from a really good
cow.
Well, unfortunately, I rarely get to know the cow itself, but
they're so distant these days. Like you get to know them, but you don't really feel like you're getting to know them.
It's been so close. You've been drinking what's coming out of their udders. You'd think it's like a hookup almost.
Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Today I'm bringing you I can't believe they are Jewish. We found out from this person's sister that this person's mother was a Jew. And I'm talking about the late John Cardinal O'Connor.
He's dead. He's a dead Jew.
He's a dead Jew. Oh my God,
Jewish,
Mormons. I hope you're listening, Mormons. There's another opportunity.
It makes him more Jewish that he's dead.
He was an interesting guy, not a big fan of the gays, nor were the gays big fans of his. He liked, during the HIV epidemic, the rise of it, the start of it, the debut of it, he suggested just abstinence and spread this idea that condoms only work 50% of the time. Obviously, that wasn't based on firsthand experience.
No, it came from his 50% experience with condoms, I'm sure.
Right.
He was the main cardinal in New York, was he not, for a long time?
Yeah, he was the Archbishop of New York from 84 to 2000. That's a really long time.
It's like being the Kennedy of New York.
It is. It's being the O. Kennedy, even more Irish and even more Catholic. We know this because his sister just wrote an article in a Catholic magazine I can't say I remember the name of, and I can't say I read regularly, but she is, as
you know what I think it's called? I think it's called I Really Look Fabulous in That.
I Really Look Fabulous in That?
Yeah,
a Catholic weekly?
Yes.
This sounds like a euphemism for something, but he was a good friend to Mayor Ed Koch, a gay and a Jew.
That's how he knows about the 50%.
Right, exactly, because they had a baby together once by accident.
Yeah, neither of them was very public about it.
He said, apparently Koch said, I love John Cardinal O'Connor as I did my own flesh and blood.
Ooh. So this guy invented this way to, that they give these blankets to kids.
So a guy invented bulletproof blankets, right? That's the entrepreneurial idea?
Yeah, yeah. It's big, it's money, possibly.
That's the invention giving a local company international attention. The company says this blanket can be used for school shootings, even tornadoes.
And of course, then this means that we're going to have to get these kids all ready to be prepared for shooting time.
Is it good for the Jews? It is good for the Jews. You want to know why?
I do. I'm dying to know why.
I'm giving myself a high five as we speak. Because it makes us look less unique in our craziness about, like, paranoia and traumatizing our youth about things that aren't necessarily going to affect them.
Probably bad for the Jews, because I'm imagining some little Jewish kid in that class already, with irritable bowel syndrome by the time they're 5, dreaming of Nazis. And then they go to class, like grade 1, and they're like, guess what, kids? Everything you're afraid of, you were right.
Right. Not only were you right, but here's another genre you have to be afraid of.
Be ready for the Gentile.
Not just gas chamber guns. You know that this weekend, the Texas GOP endorsed in their platform gay conversion therapy. Just a little to give you a taste of I think that
Cardinal O'Connor would have been good with that.
He would have loved it.
I think they're gonna maybe name it after him.
The Cardinal O'Connor reconversion program.
Mm-hmm.
I think
50%.
Don't forget, guys. Heather's in bed, but don't forget to talk to us, email us, tweet it.
We want to talk to you.
What? We want to talk to you. So how can they talk to us, Heather?
You can reach us on Twitter. I'm HEATHR and she's KTHLPS. You can also send us an email. Why don't you send us an email to morningjews with a Z or a Z, depending on your country, @gmail.com.